So I finally got my hands on this particular fragrance from the house of Banana Republic. Is it going to be as good as it sounds? Stay tuned and find out. Yeah, so today's video is going to be another unboxing, first impressions, and update video. There's also a candidate for a cheap but good fragrance, as I did find this one for $20. From the house of Banana Republic, we have Dark Cherry and Amber. So Dark Cherry and Amber from the house of Banana Republic is a unisex, floral, fruity gourmand fragrance released in 2019. The nose behind this fragrance is Claude d'Ur and is an eau de parfum concentration. Alright, let's check out this presentation. So here's the box for Dark Cherry and Amber. As you can see, we have a bright red box here. We do have a white sticker here with the name of the fragrance and the house. We have a black pull tab here on the side. If you do pull it, you can see it is has a little cutout here to cradle the bottle. Comes out like so. Nice, thick, heavy, sturdy cardboard box. Nice looking box from the house of Banana Republic. Let's check out the bottle. So here's the bottle for Dark Cherry and Amber. We do have a very heavy, thick, sturdy, dark red colored glass here. Kind of reminds me of Baccarat Rouge 540 EDP. Nice dark red bottle, as you can see. We do have a gray, dark gray kind of cap here. I believe it's plastic. Might be metal though. It feels like it might be metal on the outside. Do have a dark gray atomizer here. There is like a stopper here. I'm not sure if that's leather or plastic, but I guess it's just to stop the cap from hitting the glass. Nice, heavy, thick, sturdy bottle from the house of Banana Republic. Alright, so here are the notes for Dark Cherry and Amber. In the top we have Sour Cherry and Pink Freesia. In the mid we have Praline and Cherry Blossom. And in the base we round things off with the Red Amber and Cedar. Yeah, so I do have a little bit of experience with the house of Banana Republic, particularly this line. I did try all of them, I believe. They had a sample pack whenever this line first came out. I believe this was a later edition because I think the first ones were just like in black boxes. And I did like one called Vintage Green. I believe that's what it was called. And to my nose, it smelled like Creed's Pure White. I believe that's what it's called. But it, it could be off. I didn't get a chance to compare them. It just reminded me of it. But that's probably my favorite fragrance from that line. It didn't last very long, so I did hear that some of these fragrances in this line have some performance issues, but I did like that one nonetheless. So yeah, this is the one that I've been really wanting to try. I did get this one for $20 at Burlington or Burlington Coat Factory, whatever they're calling it in your town. But yeah, everyone's always talking about finding this one. I never had a chance to get my hands on it. Either people bought them up or they just weren't coming to Texas. But I finally got one, and it was $20, and I was happy. Mainly just because everyone's been talking about it, and I do like the notes in this. I love that it has the cherry note, and the praline in this is also really good. The amber and the cedar also caught my attention. So I don't really know what to expect for this fragrance. It does sound like it's going to be spicy and possibly deep and dark and gourmandy. The fruity part probably comes in with the cherry. We'll see how much of a cherry note plays in this fragrance. It is in the name, so I'm guessing it's going to be in there pretty hard. But looking forward to trying this one. So let's give this fragrance our first impression. All right, here we go. Clean hand. Pop the cap. A couple sprays. Okay. Yeah, that smells nice. Definitely getting the cherry note. Definitely getting the praline note. Smells like tonka bean almost to my nose. It's very sweet. That's really the two notes I'm getting right now on top. But this smells nice. This does remind me of something, and I will get back to you guys either in a sec or in the update about what this reminds me of. But this does sort of remind me of another similar gourmand fragrance. I think it's mainly that praline note in this. This is very gourmandy. Very sweet. It smells like almost like cookies or like a piece of fudge or something with more praline notes in it, if you will. Almost like there's no chocolate in this, but it's really sweet. It smells nutty almost too. It smells warm and sweet. Very sugary. Almost, yeah, it definitely smells more gourmandy, like a cookie or like a dessert. The cherry's there, but it's sort of in the background right now. So it's sort of like a cherry drizzled dessert, maybe like a pastry or something. But amber is not really peeking its head just yet. It could be mixing with the praline note really well though. But it's in the base, so it's probably going to come out later. Not really getting the cedar note just yet either. I'm sure that'll be in the dry down as well. It's already starting to fade pretty quick. And for a gourmand scent, I'm a little disappointed. But again, just the first minute or so. Don't want to pick on it too hard. This one is unisex, I would say. Probably right down the middle. I think I get the FREESIA and maybe the cherry blossom. That's probably what gives it a bit of the feminine touch. But I believe the cedar and the amber and the cherry note probably bring it back around to give it some of the masculine touch. But right now to my nose, it might be right down the middle, if not slightly leaning feminine, but it's very slight. I'm still getting the sour cherry. The praline note has faded. It's not as strong and not as sweet. It's still sweet, but it's not as sweet. Maybe it's losing its strength, or maybe that note's just fading. Not really sure, but it's definitely getting lighter on my skin. Yeah, so far there's really not much to say about this fragrance. It is just very sweet and gourmandy. It has a nice cherry note, a little floral. Other than that, it hasn't changed too much, except for maybe it's not as strong as it was from the opening spray. So I guess I'll let you guys know that in the update. So I'm going to give this fragrance a wear today, and over the next couple of days, give you guys an update shortly. Talk to you then. All right, well, I'm back with my update for Dark Cherry and Amber from the House of Banana Republic. Yeah, so I spent the last couple of days with this fragrance, and I gotta say, I do like this fragrance. Now, do keep in mind, this is a cheap but good fragrance video, so that does come into play with this fragrance, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later. But yeah, I did like this fragrance. Without going too much into the first half of the video, this does have that nice cherry opening. Now, I will say it's very fleeting. That cherry note that sort of catches your eye, because it is in the name, is only maybe in the first minute or two, 3 minutes, maybe up to 5 minutes, but it goes away after that, and you really are left with praline, amber, and cedar. I didn't get a lot of the cherry blossom. I do believe the cherry blossom does lend it to be a little bit more feminine. I can't remember what I said in the first half. I think I said it was right down the middle, but I want to say after a few days that this does lean a bit more feminine, but it's not a deal breaker. But overall, I got a lot of cherry and I got a lot of praline. The amber wasn't super prominent, and the cedar was there, but it wasn't super prominent as well. Not a bad little fragrance. I will say that I did mention that this bottle reminded me of Baccarat Rouge 540, and I did actually get that DNA in the dry down, which is, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't know that this fragrance was even compared to that. And so I started getting wafts of it. I knew I got something familiar with this one, which again might be a deal breaker for some of you guys, because if you already own Baccarat Rouge, you're not going to want this one, or Instant Crush, or any of these other 50 fragrances on the market that are copying Baccarat Rouge. You're probably not going to want this one. Again, it's not like booming in your face a clone of this one, but if you like that one, you might like this one for that reason, because it does start off with that nice cherry note that doesn't last very long, by the way. And the praline note, which makes it almost gourmandy and sweet. And then it goes into a Baccarat Rouge type of dry down, which is nice. So if you like that fragrance and you like the sound of that opening, you're going to like this fragrance. Longevity for this fragrance was below average. I got about 6 hours, but this is an eau de parfum concentration. I was really hoping for 8 or 8+ hours, honestly. This is a gourmand fragrance, and usually with gourmand fragrances, they seem to last all day on my skin anyway. And I know this is Banana Republic, but I really was hoping when they put the eau de parfum moniker on this fragrance that it would last all day, and this one just didn't. Projection for this fragrance was moderate, definitely below average when it comes to an eau de parfum concentration. Again, especially with it being a gourmand fragrance. With some of these notes, with the amber and the praline, you think this fragrance would be booming off your skin. Maybe not fill up a room. I don't want to ask for miracles with this fragrance, but at least have a decent scent trail for a few hours. The first hour, hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours are going to be your best bet, but it's not a monster by any means. Like the first 30 minutes, you can probably, have a decent trail behind you, or, be reaching maybe someone from a few feet away. But after that, it gets really close to the skin. Seasons for this fragrance, if you guys haven't guessed already from some of the notes and some of the descriptions that I gave, this is going to be best for the cooler months of the year. Although I did wear this one in hot weather, and it sort of did help out the performance issues, I will stick to it being better for the cooler months of the year. The praline note's very sweet, and even though it's not super strong, it is very thick, sweet, and heavy. for the duration of the fragrance. So with that, you probably want to wear that one for the cooler months of the year. I mean, you could probably wear this one on a cooler or a warmer evening, you know, in the summer if it's not so hot. But definitely save this one for the cooler months of the year. Occasions for this fragrance. Well, this fragrance is a very sweet, gourmand fragrance, and it's very sexy as well, being it does remind me a little bit of that Baccarat Rouge in the dry down. This is definitely going to be a good evening fragrance. I think just evening occasions all around, you know, date night, suit and tie, you know, dinner events, anything like that where you kind of have to be dressed up. I guess if any of those occasions are going to be best, it's going to be date night because, again, this one does have the performance issues. So that'd be perfect for more of a personal scent, more of a, you know, sit on the couch and watch a movie scent, or if you're going to be going, you know, going to the movies or anything where you're going to be close. This definitely isn't strong for the club, but you might be able to get away with it at work. Ages for this fragrance. Well, I do think the younger guys can easily afford this fragrance. It is only 20 bucks at Burlington. I do think that this one probably best for 25 and up. It's not super daring or anything. I just think that the cherry note might be a bit different for some, especially if it's the fellas. This is a unisex fragrance that leans a bit more feminine, just a slight bit more. So I do think that some guys would be like, it smells too perfumey. You know, this might be for the people who do like the unisex fragrances more, or do like niche perfumes, because most niche perfumes are mainly unisex. So 25 and up, I think it'd be a good age range. Even though this one is only $20, I think 25 and up could definitely appreciate this one for it being unisex and slightly leaning feminine, and that could be daring for some guys, if you know what I mean. And it does have the Baccarat Rouge 540, and a lot of people do think that one leans a bit more feminine as well. I happen to like Baccarat Rouge 540, so I do kind of like, you know, that it reminds me of that one because it does sort of have the best of both worlds. I do think that 25 and up be a good age range for this fragrance. So overall, I do like this fragrance, and I do consider this fragrance a cheap but good fragrance. Now, we got to keep that in mind. This video is strictly for the fact this fragrance is $20, and I did find it at Burlington for 20 bucks. If you see this fragrance online, I did see it on eBay and a few other places for double that. Don't pay that for this fragrance. My review is strictly for the fact that this is 20 bucks, and this is a decent fragrance for $20. This one is a nice gourmand fragrance to be nice in the fall. It won't cut through super cold weather, but I do think that it'll be, you know, good for cooler to slightly cold weather. It'll smell really nice. You know, but this one does have that nice Baccarat Rouge dry down, and if you like that fragrance, you're probably gonna like this one. I don't think this one smells so much like it till you can't own both. But if you're on a budget and you want something that smells similar to that but not over the top, you're going to like this fragrance. This does start off with that nice cherry note with the praline note that almost smells like caramel or chocolate or toffee. Sort of, you know, this praline note sort of goes down that realm. So if you like those sorts of fragrances and you like Baccarat Rouge, you're going to like this fragrance because, like I mentioned, this is the best of both worlds when it comes to that opening and that dry down. But yeah, I mean, this isn't the greatest thing I've ever tried. You know, some say it's synthetic, and honestly, I've only smelled a few fragrances that are really like super synthetic, and maybe I just have a misinterpretation of the word, honestly. But this isn't that bad. Yes, it smells like it could be a Bath and Body Works fragrance, but guys, it's Banana Republic. We're not expecting miracles out of Banana Republic. We're not expecting them to create something amazing. Now, they could. Vintage Green was pretty good. I wish it lasted longer, but that was a pretty good fragrance. So this one right now next to Vintage Green might be one of my favorites from the line. Again, this is strictly if you can find this fragrance for 20 bucks. If you can find this fragrance for 20 bucks, you might want to give it a shot. All right, guys, so now it's your turn. What are your thoughts on Dark Cherry and Amber from the House of Banana Republic? Have you tried this fragrance? Let me know your thoughts on this fragrance down in the comments below. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching another video on my channel. If you like this video, please click that like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications for future First Impressions videos and fragrance-related content just like this. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Dollars and Cents. There, you'll find fragrance-related photos and future contest winners. And as always, until next video, you guys take care. Thanks.